हमारे साथ अमेरिका के आने वाले सफ़ीर जनाब कैमरॉन मेंटर और उनकी मुअज़्ज़ज़ अहलियाँ हैं जो अब यहाँ से इस्लामाबाद वापस जा रहे हैं जहाँ वो सफ़ारत की ज़िम्मेदारियाँ संभालेंगे। आइए हम उनसे गुफ्तगू करते हैं कि वो अपनी इस नई पोस्टिंग के बारे में क्या सोचते हैं। Mr. Ambassador, how do you feel about going to Islamabad?
I am delighted to go to Islamabad. Marilyn, my wife, and I have always wanted to go to Pakistan. Many years ago, Marilyn was a diplomat and I was working with her in diplomacy. We had planned to go to Islamabad and that didn't work. So we're 15 years later, but it's not too late. We're delighted by the prospect of making new friends, seeing new cultures, and dealing with many of the difficult problems that both of our countries face.
In a way, you're already a trailblazer. I mean, you will be the first wife to be in Islamabad after they banned families there. So why did you decide to do that?
Well, as my husband said, we've always wanted to go to Pakistan and get to know the country, the people, experience the vibrant culture there. And so we see this really as the fulfillment of something we've been thinking of for a long time. Personally, I'm very much looking forward to it. I've always had a deep interest in the region. I'm delighted to be living with my husband again. We've been separated for 2.5 years. Our children have flown the coop. And so for us, this is sort of the start of a new phase in our life together. And what better place to do that than Pakistan?
You know, there was a time when in Islamabad, American ambassadors' wives, they used to do a lot of cultural activities, hold painting exhibitions, speak at cultural functions, all sorts of things there. So do you plan to revive those kind of activities?
I'd certainly love to, and you've just given me a couple of good ideas of things that I can do. Yes, absolutely. I will be taking part in cultural events. I hope not just at our locations, but in the places where Pakistani artists are doing them, whether it's museums or cafes or even on the street. And so definitely, yes, I intend to see everything of that sort.
And Mr. Ambassador, there was one great institution, which was the American Center, where I read Hemingway, where I read Faulkner, where I read American poets. Do you have any plans to revive that institution?
The answer is yes, of course. We're working hard on reviving American centers not only in Islamabad, but perhaps in the major cities around the country. The point is, we want the youth of Pakistan today to have exactly the experience you had, to make up your own mind about American culture, to have a chance to meet the kind of things that we offer, and that you can have the same experience, the young people there can have the same experience that we hope to have, to learn about a different culture, to learn to respect it, and to build a partnership.
When I interviewed President Obama, he said that he can cook Pakistani food. He said keema and dal. Does anybody, can you, any of you cook Pakistani?
Not yet, but I've already told my husband that as soon as we get to Islamabad, I intend to make very good friends with our chef and spend a lot of time in his kitchen so that I can learn to make them. I love to cook.
But have you tried Pakistani food?
She is much too modest. She is actually very good at South Asian cuisine, and what we need to do is find the nuance. What is different between Sindh and Punjab? What is different in the north? I am personally a big fan of spicy food, and I understand that maybe I can find that in Pakistan if I'm lucky.
Have you been to Islamabad before?
Never. No, first time it will be.
And one thing that surprises the American when they arrive there is to see how green it is. Would you like to say something for Pakistani women?
To Pakistani women, I would just like to say I look forward to meeting all of you. I want you to tell me about your lives. I'll tell you about my life, and I hope that we can establish a lifelong friendship.
So about the challenges, what are the challenges you think you're going to face there?
The main challenge that I see that is not the only one, but it's the challenge of the lack of trust that has developed over the years. I think there are Pakistanis who know that many Americans are interested, but I sense that they are skeptical about American motives. They don't know why the Americans are interested. We're not going to convince Pakistanis of our commitment unless we understand what their fears are. This will be one of the biggest challenges, is getting over this question of trust.
And what would you say is the greatest or biggest achievement of these talks, the third round?
I think one thing that makes me very happy, of course, is the fact that our president was able to speak with your leadership and have a very warm and very straightforward discussion that since I was in the room, I have to say, it was a marvelous time. It was the kind of human link that I think both sides are very hungry for. I admire, on the basic level, all of the work in water, in energy, in agriculture, in these key areas. But I say personally, the link between our president and your leadership was something that showed the warmth and the depth of our friendship.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.